So today I'm at a used car dealer auction.
Sold 6,700.
Got 23,000, 23.1, 23.2, 23.3, 23.4, 23.5, 23.6.
32. I'm not gonna want to get a bit of 32.
Ooh, let's check this BMW out. Here's an Audi that I can check out. I typically don't check out Audis.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's check this thing out. This is the big boy. This is a Suburban. It's a 2022. Surprised this is here, honestly. It's got 169,000 miles. Check this out. This is a 2022. It's got 169,000 miles. Someone drove the crap out of this thing. It looks good though. It's a Z71. The outside body looks good. These are the keys for it. Oh, there should be inside. Let's see here. All right, here's that Suburban. Asking $31,500 for it. That's $31,500. No bids. Dropped it down to $30,000, still no bids. Dropped down to $29,000, still no bids. Yeah, we'll check the rest of the inside in a second. And let's go around the whole body. This is a long vehicle. I don't see a lot of these newer Suburbans show. Well, I shouldn't see a lot of these show up at auction. It's a 2022. Should still be on the road in somebody's possession, or a lot of the new dealers actually keep them. Inside looks great. I love this. This is nice. Yeah. This doesn't look really cheap like most of the newer vehicles. But I mean, this was a 2022 Suburban. How much was this thing? It was probably $85,000, $89,000 whenever it came out. MSRP on it. I can't be too far off. This is one of the top trims, if not the top trim, but it looks great. We're going to check, see what dealer paid for it. 2022, 169,000 miles. It's kind of a unique vehicle with that many miles and still being that new. Drop down 28.5. Drop down 28,000. All right, we got 23,000. Long way away, I think. Got 23,000, 23.1, 23.2, 23.3, 23.4, 23.5, 23.6. This is tough. 24,000. 24.1, 24.2, 24.3, 24.4. I'm going to say 25 at this point. Yeah. 25.1, 25.2, 25.3, 25.4. Probably not even close. Not even close. So it takes 28, I think. Yeah. Buyer offered 26. We didn't get it done. No sale. Ooh, let's check this BMW out. It's 2021. It's got 98,000 miles on it. Needs a bath, but the outside body looks pretty good. Tires are okay. We'll get to the interior in a second. Yeah, outside body, I don't see any dents, dings. It's a 330i. Please don't back up. All right, there we go. Yep, outside body looks pretty good. All right, here's the BMW. All right, trying to start at $15,500. We had no bidders. Dropped it all the way down to $10,000. They're going to roll it. We got bids. This will probably bring a lot of money out soon. We'll see the inside. Usually BMWs. Oh, that's pretty scratched up. Somebody's wallet or some kind of holder on the side of their belt. I mean, BMWs are not supposed to do that. Somebody was rough with this car. Yeah, it looks. I mean, other than those two little spots, which can be fixed, I think. Looks pretty good. This is cool. It's a cool car. I'm curious. Let's see what this brings. Still 10,000. Only one bidder. Rolling very slow. Oh, they got to push that car. That's why. Keep pushing that car out. That's why it's going slow. All right, up to 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, all the way up to 11,000. 11.1, 11.2, 11.3. On the BMW still. It's out. We're still bidding on it. 11.6, 11.7, 11.8, 11.9. They got $12,000 put on phone call. $12,000 put on phone call. All right, so an if bid just means that it didn't bring enough money in lane, and they tried to get the sale done after the auction's done. They also call it a phone call because literally the auction will call the seller and say, hey, it didn't bring the money that you wanted it to bring, but it brought this. Can we meet somewhere in the middle? It's just a negotiation after the sale is actually over. Here's an Audi that I can check out. I typically don't check out Audis, and the reason being is because I don't really like them. Especially the used ones that are over 10 years old always have big time issues, at least what I've experienced, the ones that I've looked at. So typically when I'm coming out here, I've also got a mind of, okay, what kind of vehicles I actually like to look at. And I don't think about you, and you guys ask me a lot of questions about Audi, Mazda, Subaru, so I try to keep that in the back of my mind. Know, okay, you as my audience, you want to watch, you want to look at stuff like this, so we're gonna actually check it out. And I'm going to put my bias aside, even though Audi is not a good vehicle. 2011, I'm just kidding. I know there's a bunch of Audi, Volkswagen truthers out there. I love these cars. It's an A4, it's a 2.0 turbo. Outside body looks, I was gonna say it looks good, but nah, there's a big scuff right there, a big dent on that side. It's gonna need some tires. The rims aren't great on it. Yeah, not fantastic. You know, we'll check it out. I don't know if I said the miles, 145,000 miles. It's a 2011. All right, here's the 2011 Audi. Try to start at 3,500 bucks. Drop down 3,000. Probably a pretty cheap. All the way down $1,000. We got bids. 11, 12, 13. Inside. What it does remind me is I used to buy a lot of like Passats back in the day before I gave up on Volkswagen and Audi altogether. And it looks very similar to how the Passat setup was, like on the inside doors and everything like that. So that's what it reminds me of, which it should use a lot of the same parts, same maker. You got, look at that headliner. Headliner sagged down. Steering wheel feels fine. Yeah, it's a little dirty. It's not too bad. Seat's worn, but I mean, it should be that way with this the age of this car. But I mean, it looks overall, it's okay. But we'll check it out. 2011, 145,000 miles. 14, 15. It's rolling out. Should have been on it. 16, 17, 18, 19. Every time it yelps, it's got been 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Got 2,700. Sold it.
Why don't you talk more about Mazdas? I think they are better value than Toyota, both new and used.
Value is all about perspective. So I can agree with you and not agree with you there. But they're going to be cheaper than Toyotas and Hondas. As far as value goes, I think reliability 100% goes in the direction of Toyota and Honda. So for me, running a dealership, going to auctions, and constantly being around cars, having a really good air compressor is a must for me. So I want to thank WOLFBOX for sponsoring this video and sending over their HyperFlow 60D. Whether you need to top off a tire on your daily driver or air up a truck or SUV, this thing is made to make it quick and easy. Its dual-cylinder design maintains 120 liters per minute of airflow at 40 psi and can even handle 35 to 40-inch off-road tires. So it has plenty of power when you need it. One of my favorite features is the automatic shutoff. Just set the PSI that you want, turn it on, and it automatically stops when it gets there. You also get real-time pressure readings with plus or minus 2 PSI accuracy. So you're not constantly checking it or guessing where your tire pressure is. And if you're airing up multiple tires, WOLFBOX's twin-core cooling system allows the HyperFlow 60D to run continuously for up to 60 minutes at full load under room temperature conditions. So whether you're around cars every day like I am, or just don't want to be stuck looking for an air pump when the tire gets low, it's a great thing to have with you. Don't let a slow compressor ruin your trip. The WOLFBOX HyperFlow 60D air compressor gives you fast, reliable inflation power for any adventure. You can check it out using the link below in my description, and I want to thank WOLFBOX again for sponsoring today's video. Now, we buy Mazdas. Anytime I see like Mazda 3s and Mazda 6s, that are higher mileage in our range, like I'm looking at them at auction. So don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Mazda. I just think that if you look at like a 2006 Mazda 6 with 150,000 miles versus a 2006 Toyota Camry with 150,000 miles, the Toyota Camry is probably going to be $4,000 to $4,500, where the Mazda 6 probably going to be $3,000 to $3,500, at least where I am in my part of the country with no rust, things like that. I would pay $1,000 more for the Toyota Camry because I think you're going to get $1,000 more value. And this is where the perspective comes in here, because maybe you're like, okay, well, the $1,000 that you're calling value, I'm just calling wasted money because the Mazda is 90% of what that Toyota is. And maybe you even think the Mazda is even a better car. I think the Mazdas look better. I think they're a better looking car than a Toyota Camry, but I can say that there are cars that when I go to auction that I see last 350, 450,000 miles on a weekly basis. I see these kind of miles on these particular cars, and it's not Mazdas. And I can only give you what I see and what my perspective is, and these cars that make it that long. And it's almost never a Mazda 3 or Mazda 6 that I see that has 400,000 miles. But there are countless numbers of times that I can say, I saw a Honda Civic, I saw a Toyota Corolla, I saw a Toyota Camry, saw a Honda Accord that had that many miles on it, and it's not close. Toyota Camry, by far the most that I would see with that many miles. And then a close second is all the other three that I just mentioned, the Toyota and the Honda products. But Mazda is a one-off situation when I'm ever going to see one that has 300,000 plus miles and still running strong. So that is where my opinion comes from. And it's not, I'm going back, it's not that I dislike Mazda. I like Mazda. I really like how they look, and I buy them all the time. And I think Mazda with 150,000 miles is still a good car. It's going to last for probably a long time as long as you take care of it. But there's no comparison between the numbers and the consistency that I see of cars that have over 300,000 miles on them. That is a Toyota, that is a Honda, versus how many that I'm going to see with that's a Mazda. So that's where my opinion is coming from, and I see thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of cars every single week. So that's where my bias is coming in, just because of the sheer numbers of what I see from what I'm paying attention to when I'm going to these auctions.
What does your state inspection entail?
So with us, we're in North Carolina. What we have an emissions inspection, we have safety inspections. So with safety, in a lot of states, we'll have safety inspections. So I'll talk about that first. With our safety inspection, they check tires, they check your windshield wipers, they check your lights that are on your car. They make sure you have a rear view mirror. They make sure that you have a driver's side mirror. You don't have to have a passenger side mirror, but you have to have a driver's side mirror. And they check, I think, the tint on your car and seatbelts. I might be missing something in there, but I think that's pretty much everything they check. They also check the alignment of your headlights, which I always thought was weird. If they work, they work. But I guess alignment of the wind, if they're pointed up, then they can blind other drivers when they're driving by. So actually, that does make sense. And in us, and with North Carolina, we have also emissions inspections with cars that are 20 years and newer. So right now we're in 2026. So cars that are from 2007 and newer will have emissions inspections also. And what that means is they'll actually read the computer in the car. They call it an OBD2 reader. And it's able to send back a signal to this scanner and show you that there are no problem codes in a car. You think what problem codes could be? Like O2 sensors. It could have converters that are sending out bad readings. Mass airflow sensor is one that's very common with us. EVAP codes are very common. Even like not having your gas cap tightened enough, or if the seal that's on your gas cap can like dry rot and have some bad air that's leaking out of the actual system, car will detect that. And if they detect any of that stuff, it'll throw the check engine light on. The bane of my existence, and what costs me more money than any other thing on this planet, is a check engine light. And if the check engine light's on, it's not going to pass emissions inspection, and I have to get whatever that is fixed. So we go through that. We have to fix whatever it is, and then we have to, after we fix that car, clear the code, and then hopefully it gets fixed. But then we drive the car for a while. Monitors set in the actual car. This is a whole nother system. Other than even just sending the problem codes, there are monitors that check each and every system that is coordinated with this OBD2 system, and they have to set before we can actually get the car inspected. So you think if there's a O2 sensor problem, then we fix the O2 sensor problem, but then we have to drive the car X amount of miles for the car to automatically check itself and then say, okay, O2 sensor is no longer throwing out an issue. So now we'll set that monitor, and they put a little check mark by it. And as long as all those monitors, except for one, has been completely set and the check engine light hasn't come back on, no problem codes have set again, then we can actually get that car inspected. So bane of my existence right now is emissions inspections, and because there can be like an O2 sensor,
if it's just throwing a little bit of a faulty reading, just because the sensor's bad, not because the car is actually doing something it's not supposed to, because that actual sensor is bad, it doesn't affect how the car's driving whatsoever. But if that sensor's bad, it costs me time, energy, money to actually fix this sensor, even though the car is going to run exactly the same before it was fixed and after it was fixed. So what's actually happening in North Carolina, hopefully soon, is I think they're talking about a law to change it where we're going to get rid of emissions in North Carolina, and I can't wait. Now, the downside of this is that a lot of the cars that we sell, they're just going to have a check engine light on them, and we're going to have a list of what's going on with the car when the customer comes in there and say, okay, well, I see this car for $2,500, but I see the check engine lights on it. What's going on? And we'll have to pull out our little list and say, okay, well, this one has a bad O2 sensor, and that's what's wrong with it. It's not changing how the car drives. It's still a safe car to drive. You're just going to have check engine light on. And I understand if you don't want to buy it and you're very wary about this check engine light. So many people are so terrified of a check engine light, but in a lot of the cases, that light doesn't affect how the car drives whatsoever. The problem that's causing that light to come on is not going to affect how that car is driving, but people are just terrified because, and it's for good reason. They don't know. And it says, check your engine. And it's got this little flashing light that has an engine, and they just assume, okay, my car's about to blow up. It's not the case. So when that changes, it's going to be an element of, okay, it's not going to waste us so much money, because a lot of those problems that aren't going to really stop how the car functions, it's going to be more of costing us time then, because we have to explain to a customer, okay, this is what's going on with it. If you want to fix it, I wouldn't fix it on a $2,500 car, but if you want to fix it, it's going to cost about this much money. We're not going to fix it, and we're selling it as is or whatever, and take it to your mechanic and know what you're getting into before you get into it. So it's going to cost us time on that side of things, but it's going to actually end up saving me a lot of money, because a lot of these fixes that we don't need to fix because it has nothing to do with the car, we're just going to be able to sell like it. And in a lot of cases, these cars that I'm going to sell, they're going to be able to be sold a lot cheaper. So I think it's a net positive for our customers. It's a net positive for us. And I can't wait till they change this. And I think it's going to be later on this year, but I have no clue. And I will be making so much more money, but just not because we're making more money per car. We're going to be making more money because we can turn cars faster. Right now, we can have drive cycles to get these cars ready just after we fix something. The time between when we fix it to when the monitors go ready in the system, it could take 200 miles. And you got to think how many cars I'm running through a month. There's 65 to 80 cars a month that we have to get ready. If there's probably a fourth of them that we have to do this kind of thing on, and each one of them are taking miles and miles and miles. And think about how much time that takes us to drive these cars to get them ready to actually get inspected. Just that simple little time period takes us so much time. So we're going to be able to make so much more money just because we're going to be able to turn and burn so much faster by only getting these cars inspected for safety and not emissions.
Okay. I wanted to add a couple notes there. One, let's say the O2 sensor, and it is just the sensor. That's not always what it is. It can be another issue, but it can be just the sensor. And we do see that on a regular basis. I promise I put in a list of repairs. And a lot of times that's the only thing that had to be changed to fix an issue. So O2 sensor goes out, and then we have to reset it, which means unplug the battery, reset all the codes, and all those codes have to hit. In order for it to be able to be inspected, you can't have more than 2 incompletes. And I'm not the only one. We're not
One
the ones that
incomplete.
know that. Sorry, 1 incomplete. Some of those drive cycles are brutal to get monitors just set to ready. Some of them take a couple 100 miles. But you have to drive it, and that takes time. That takes an employee. That takes gas, and it might still come back on if that's not the issue, or we didn't find the right cause or whatever. So sometimes it ends up happening more than once. And I
want to pull this up. So they're disagreeing about the O2 sensor. It could absolutely mean it's a bad cat, or it could absolutely mean that car's running too rich or running too lean, especially on the back end sensor. But the thing about it is most of the time, and I don't know if you're a car dealer or you're a mechanic, but I'm dealing with hundreds of these situations every single year. And in most cases, it's literally just a bad sensor. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. If it is running too rich, if it is making the car run rough because of the reading, because it's not the problem is throwing the actual sensor off. It's not something that we have to replace the O2 sensor. I'm talking about when we have to actually replace the O2 sensor because the sensor's bad. That's the issue that I'm talking about, not that the cat's bad. Like if the cat's bad, we're not replacing the O2 sensor and the problem's fixed. We have to replace the cat. So that's what I'm talking about, and not if there is an actual issue. I'm talking the thing that's detecting the issue. We have to fix the thing that's detecting the issue. Not if there's 10 cases with this same situation, 8 of those 10 cases, I'm fixing the thing that's detecting the issue and not the actual issue. And only 2 times is there an actual issue. That's the kind of percentages that I'm talking about here, and why it's such a pain in my butt, because I'm not fixing the car. I'm fixing the thing that's telling the car that the car's wrong. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you did say that a little bit off. I just want to be clear. It's not that we're not fixing the issue. It's that there wasn't an issue because it was being reported as an issue because of a faulty sensor that is kind of a flag. But there was 2 other things I want to say. This is a major topic.
Wait. Let me give another example. If your house is 70 degrees on the inside, so your AC is working. It's hot day outside. Your AC's on. Your house is 70 degrees inside, but your thermostat is saying that your house is 90 degrees. I have to fix that thermostat and not the actual AC 8 out of 10 times, and only 2 out of 10 times is the actual AC the problem. Does that make more sense?
Yes, but in order to know that, like in this one, you could just check it, the temperature. But I mean, like in the situation with the cars,
well, with the car, you can check. I mean, you can drive it. The car's driving fine. That's it.
Well, yes, yeah. But I mean, it's a little easier. But it happens so often that it makes sense to be like, all right, first let's just see if it's a bad sensor, and so we'll replace that. If it still doesn't fix the issue, there's still this code that pops up, then we know there's something else wrong. So 2 other things.
And we don't reset the battery so the car will pass inspection. We have a code reader that will actually reset the codes, and we have to still drive it to get all the monitors to set before the actual, I think she said, reset the battery. You can unhook the battery terminals and it will reset the light, but you can't just get it to automatically pass inspection if the light's off. You still have to drive it so those monitors will actually set. We've been accused before, and every car dealer alive has been accused before of, okay, well, the check engine light came on later after I bought it, so they must have just cleared it so they could sell it to. It's not how inspections work. The actual monitors have to set. So yeah, there can be a lot of cases where if a car sits on a car dealership lot and it's not driven for a while, stuff can clog up, and then once you actually start driving it again, that light can pop up because there's other problems that are going on with the car. But no, there's no situation where you can just clear a light and go get inspected. It used to be that case, 30 years ago, that you could do something like that and have your old car, and they didn't have where you have to get the monitor set. They just need the check engine light not to be on. It's not like that anymore. It's at least in North Carolina where I am, you have to get all these monitors to set. The only way to do that is by driving it. And if there is a problem with the car, that light's going to pop while you're getting those monitors to set.
Yep. Hold on, I had one more and I might have lost it. Oh, no, this is a good. So I think that there's a lot of people out there that think that check engine light is a magical little indicator that just has this ability to know if there's anything wrong with the engine at all. And that's not what it does. So
transmission can be completely ripped out of a car and the check engine light won't be won't turn on it.
And it's just not a magical indicator of good or bad. It's just not how it works. And a lot of people will think that. So we can get a lot of questions and issues and say, hey, you knew there was this thing, or we tricked you because, whatever, if there's some kind of a question mark. And I'm not talking about us, car dealers in general. Even the dishonest ones will have that unfairly applied to them.